What's going on, Blitz Nation? Day 2 of Sonic Temple 2024 with Ronni Hunter, and I'm Lewis, and of course the guys from Seether getting ready to play a little bit later tonight, but they are taking some time with us. How the heck are you guys?
Very good. It's nice to be back.
Awesome.
Back on the road, back in the real world.
Now, you guys have been known for, we'll call you road warriors, because throughout your career you guys play a lot of shows. How good did it feel to get back out there in front of people? I remember seeing you guys right after the pandemic at like the first festival. I think Louder Than Life was the first festival show after the pandemic. And the energy you guys, you could tell that you guys were just like, oh my God, there are people here. It's been too long since this has happened.
It's been interesting, man. It started off being real nervous, and we hadn't played a show in a year, and then it had been a year before that. So we basically played around 12 weeks of touring in 4 years, and it was bizarre to come out and then do another 4-week run. But we were outstanding, so that good friends of ours and Saint Sonia and Tim Montana, so that made it easier to get off the bus every day and see everybody you like, you know what I mean? But it's funny. We're kind of like this is the last show on this run, and we've found our stride, and it's really fun, and we're really having a good time in a sense. But by the same token, I think we're all ready just to go home for a bit, and just be normal.
So with Judas Mind coming out, talk about the album. You've got this new song, which, okay, so I heard that you wouldn't play the new music because you didn't want to spoil the surprise.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that there's and we live in such a horribly over-connected world that, like, even the smallest things that you can keep that make life slightly more exciting, even for us, I think is cool. So if we played it live, it would be all over the internet by the next day, and then it kind of blows the surprise. And maybe we should, so we don't talk it up too much, and like people are like, oh, this was all the hype was all, this is what it was about. But I think it's something that anticipation is a good thing. We've finished this in January. We mastered it in the beginning of February, so we've been sitting with this for a long time too. So we're also excited to get out and play it. But again, I think anticipation is not to be underestimated as far as like just how much it can mean when you finally get to the day. Like you used to wait for album releases and like, oh my God, finally we can go to the store, we can buy the album, we can go home, we can read the lyrics, all those kinds of things. Those don't exist anymore. More often than not, albums just kind of arrive and be like, oh, what, they have a new album? I had no idea. And that's kind of a sad world. I mean, we used to all like line up around the block to go get a new album when it came out. So any bit of anticipation we can.
You're not kidding. Like, I remember being a kid, because growing up in the 90s, I remember being a kid, and I went to go buy a CD, and I'd be like, all right, I've got $40 in my pocket, and there's 3 CDs that I want to buy. I got to make that impossible choice about which 2 I'm going to have to go with. But I always appreciated, because before lyrics.com, if you didn't know what the word of a song was and you were tired of making it up every time you sang it, you opened that jacket and went, oh, that's what that word is. So those days are
so it's
truly
not
gone.
part of every night.
Have you guys ever done that? Like, forgot a word and made up a word on stage?
We will tonight, probably.
I forget words all the time, man. You sometimes just get lost in like what's happening out there, and you forget you're on stage playing music because some weird stuff's happening in the crowd. For the most part, though, yeah, I mean they're pretty much burned into my brain, so that's good.
Now, I have a question. How do you guys, because of the longevity of how long you guys have been doing this, and every set list is a limited amount of time, how do you pick and choose? Is there anything that you feel like you cut out one too many times on a set list that you need to be put back in, or how does that process work? Because I know you guys have got hundreds of songs, but you can only play, 20, 15, 30, something like that. So there's some that just unfortunately find themselves on the editing room floor.
Well, I have to come up with today's set list, and we only have 45 minutes, so that's like 8, maybe 9 songs, depending on time management. So that's something I have to think about now. I was like, oh, damn, I have to do that. I was like, we've got an hour, right? We got this now. So I got to cut out like 3 songs. But yeah, it's difficult. You just kind of, you try and give people as many of the songs that they want to hear as you can. Within reason. I mean, there's always going to be something, you should have played that. I was like, I'm sorry. You tell that to the festival organizers, or give us more time. It's just, it is what it is. It's part of the gig, and it'll be fine. You know, we got 45 minutes to come out and play as much music and talk as little as possible, because I think the talking part's unnecessary. We just here to play music. So yeah, looking forward to it though.
That was something that I remember reading from the Motley Crue guys. They said we don't do encores anymore because that is time that we could be playing 3, 4, 5 more songs while people are sitting there chanting and all that. You should come up with some what's the word? Methodology. I graduated from Marysville, sorry. Methodology for your song list, like, I don't know, flip coins or play some kind of weird game or something.
Yeah, you know, we should, honestly, because it's just, what'll probably happen is we'll take the set we've been playing and we'll just cut out some of, like, unfortunately, probably like the slower stuff. You know what I mean? We kind of feel like it's our last show. We want to have fun. We want to kind of be a little heavier, be a little bit more up tempo, I think, and 45 minutes, and then we're on a bus and we're out of here.
With the new album on the horizon and you guys getting back out on tour, families and all that, and your daughter and all that, how do you feel? Like, where's your kind of mindset? Are you ready? Are you excited now? Is it time? Are you, we went through COVID and all of that stuff, and now it's like, let's go.
Yeah, a bit of both. A bit of that and a bit of no, I don't want to do this anymore. It's tough with young kids. I was just home yesterday for the first time in weeks, and my son, I have a 1-year-old son, and he wouldn't let me put him down. He wouldn't go back to his mom. I was like, wow, all right, this has never happened. I almost wore that same outfit. That's crazy. If we'd worn the same see-through dresses, I just couldn't show my face in public again.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
He was distracted by the ass that was walking, literally.
But there is that element of, like, the kids are great, and they demand a lot of attention, and it's there's the guilt of feeling like, all right, it definitely takes 2 of us to hold the house down, and if one of us is gone for an extended amount of time, it makes everything more difficult exponentially. My son doesn't sit still. Like, he's insane, and I've been thinking about, like, caging him, maybe shackling him to a beam outside, just so he can burn off some energy. But man, he's like an Energizer bunny. And so the other thing too is I missed a lot of things, a lot of milestones with my daughter, which I don't want to miss with my son. And luckily haven't missed any yet. And but we're not touring tomorrow. We've got months and months until we do that, and I think that's plenty of time to figure it out and come up with the days of us doing 10, 11 months in a row and being gone are well behind us. You talk about being road dogs, and we can still be something of an approximation of that without having to do that anymore. Because, we've been doing this for over 20 years, and you get to a point where it's like, all right, how many parts of my body hurt today? And you're like, only 7? Cool, it's a great day, But no, I'm kidding. Yeah, we're excited, of course. We
you're getting old when you wake up in the morning and you do the system check to make
yeah,
sure.
or you get out of bed and there's so much clicking and popping for the first 10 minutes. You feel like you need to, like you're a bunch of Lego blocks being reassembled.
I took Tylenol last night before I went to bed, and I woke up today and I was like, thank you, God, because it was the only thing to say, just from walking around yesterday. That's all I did.
It's amazing how you sort of you reach this cliff and you just drop off the end of it at some point, man.
And there's no going back.
There's no way.
Now, you guys have been doing this, for a long time. Do you find, because you've had that level of success, is the writing process going into a new album easier, or does the pressure become greater because now you've set this level of expectation that comes with you guys? How's that play out when you're, kicking around ideas for songs?
The idea is not to put any pressure on yourself with like a deadline, and when it's ready, it'll be ready and you'll know. So if you had a deadline, you'd panic and you'd write stuff for the sake of writing it. But I think at the end of the day, as long as you understand that once it's finished, it'll present itself as finished, and then you can go, okay, it's finished, and you can move on. But having said that, then you get into recording, you're like, oh, you're done recording, you're like, oh, I should have changed that, and now it's too late, can't change those words anymore. So it's always evolving, and it's always a process. But I think as far as from, all right, we're done with that tour, let's take a couple months off, and then we'll start again. It's always a thing of like, all right, well, let's see what happens. And the first 3 months might be garbage. But at least it's starting to get the gears moving again, you know. And then eventually there's a stride that you find yourself in, and then again, it'll complete itself, and you'll know when it's done. You know what I mean? And then it's like, hey guys, label guys, we got this album for you. And thankfully they're not a very intrusive A&R company. They pretty much leave us to our own devices, and that's great too, because you don't have some guy breathing down your neck and trying to put his thumb on the scale to make you sound a certain way or do a certain thing. So yeah.
That was always something that I wondered about, how when you create a song, how do you decide on a name of the song? I mean, I know there's the chorus and I know there's obvious words, but there's also songs that have titles that aren't even really words in the song. Like, how do you just decide that's what that should
Well, when you first write a song, it's got some stupid name, just something that you have to save as, and you go, oh, I don't know, some stupid garbled message to myself. And then when it comes to naming stuff, everyone's known the demos for so long by different names. It's like when you see, like, I don't know what the song's real names are yet, and I gave them the names. Sometimes you just pick a phrase out of the song. Sometimes it is a chorus, which makes sense, and other times it's just like, well, nothing's jumping out at me, so let me just try and figure out if I can encompass the sentiment or the emotion of the song in a title. So. Yeah, there's no process there.
Energizer Bunny 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, one time it was like idea 1s through 30 something, and I was like, that's all I had. I wasn't even being creative, you know. But yeah, it can be that bad.
I have to bring up something because I felt really shitty about it for so long, but you guys did an album release. I think it was right when you joined the band. And you guys in Nashville, and you were at the Dolly Parton recording studio, which was an amazing thing,
Yeah.
and it was really great. We went to a bar afterwards, and Sean, you walked in, and I had a beer in my hand. It was a craft beer. And you walked in, and I'm holding it like this, and it slid out of my hand and hit the floor right in front of you.
You think that's the worst fluid I've ever had on me?
Oh!
I got hit in Philadelphia one time. This little punk, man, I could say a lot more illustrious. All right, it is this little fucker. I got hit in the face with a warm cup of piss,
Oh, my God.
and some of it went in my mouth, and I was like, man, I'll give anybody $500 right now to bring that kid to me. And he escaped, unfortunately. Maybe I should have upped the ante, but yeah, he went, and I was mad, but he also hit me in the face, so his aim was pretty good. And he had obviously just decanted it from himself because it was nice and warm. So your beer, not a big deal, especially on my shoes.
Yeah,
Piss in my mouth, a little different. And it wasn't even consensual.
Well, the glass shattered, and you were amazing. I was mortified. You looked at the bartender. You go, she's going to need another beer. And I was like, oh, you're the best.
Well, you know.
So, Dale,
It's a pretty
how
good
many-
accent, actually.
Did I do okay on that?
Yeah, not bad.
All right. Okay, Dale Gearhead, how many guitars are we bringing to the show today that will be on stage?
Oh, not too many. Just the usual sort of road guitars.
Wait, did you just call Dale a gearhead? Like musicians gearhead? Oh, wrong guy.
Well, I got a bunch of guitars at home, but anything that I value kind of stays at home. And then, guitars on the road, I feel like are just tools. I don't think you want to have anything out here that you'd feel sorry for. If it breaks and it's gonna ruin your day, it should probably stay at home because it's the easiest way to wreck stuff is being in the back of a truck and being on stage and in the rain and all that. So, I do have a lot of guitars. I do. A little too many. I need to probably slim it down a little bit.
How's that work? Do you ever have like a guitar that might be a favorite guitar to play, or any instrument for that matter, but then you have to retire it? You've been like, all right, I've been playing this same guitar for 10 years. I've got to, it's time to move on, or do you just keep the same? Do you ever keep the same one and just go?
I've been playing the same basses on tour for some of the basses. Must be 15 years now, probably. And then only when something really breaks, you can. A lot of them are like Frankenstein together out of like, it'll be like different colored like machine heads or like a bridge from this one, and you kind of piece one together, and then every now and again you'll bring in a new one, or have a new one sent out. And that's the irony when you know, when you could afford to buy all the guitars you want, then that's when people are like, oh, hey, will you play our thing? We'll send them out
Wait,
to you.
I'm not kidding. Is this a festival that's changed its name? That it used to be called something else?
It's Rock on the Range. It used to
Oh,
be
right.
Rock on the
I was like, hang on a second. There's so much familiarity, and I was like, oh, dude, I didn't even know it had changed its name.
That's
Like,
funny because you looked over my shoulder this way, and I thought there were more girls walking.
No,
in with
no, no. I'm just
flowing
no,
stuff.
no, not at all. I'm just looking. I'm looking. I'm going like, I recognize the stage.
Yeah.
I recognize the back of this building. I recognize the entrance to the building. I'm like, man, this used to be Rock on the like. All right, cool.
Yeah, Rock on the
Shows you how
Range.
much attention I pay.
Yeah, that's well, you
Great to be here.
You recognize it's good to see you.
We have arrived.
Yay! Woo! Oh my
So-
God.
So apparently we have somebody here that used to be in the Nixons. We
That is
had our
correct.
Blitz bash and Nixons played, and I remember you may have climbed up on a stack and freaked me out one time, which was really crazy.
That might have been Zach, I guess, climbing up, right?
Yeah, would
Yeah.
you have never climbed up on a stack?
Not me.
No?
I'm always safe behind the drums,
Yeah.
tucked behind. you
I
know.
thought-
yeah,
I
Zach was
thought-
pretty crazy. He was known for climbing in trusses and jumping 50 feet.
I
into the
thought
back.
I
No
thought I
thanks.
saw you
Madness.
come out from behind there and climb up on one of the stacks, but maybe that was it must have been him.
Johnny did drink back then. So.
Well, yeah, and chances are, and I may honestly just have forgotten, because the 90s are a bit of a blur for me.
Yeah.
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 As you
Peyote
can,
is
as
hell
you
of
can
a drug.
imagine.
Oh, guys, well, it's great to have you back at Sonic Temple. We'll call it Rock on
Yeah.
the Range. for
No,
old
it's
time's
cool. No,
sake.
no, I'll fix myself.
At least you guys recognize where you were. It wasn't one of those guys were in the wrong place.
Well, it was Rock on the Range for so long, and yeah, I'm like, oh, this new Sonic Temple thing sounds cool, and here I am.
You're cuddling the pillow there.
yeah,
so
well, and I'm like, I didn't realize, so I'm sorry. I'm
He's
an
probably
idiot.
going to leave with that pillow.
Nah,
he's like, nah.
nah, I'm good.
Guys, somebody take this back to the bus. Guys, thank you for talking with us. Appreciate the
Thanks
time
for
you guys
having us.
had.
Good to see
Looking
you.
forward to seeing you guys tonight. And also, good luck on the new album, man. Looking forward.
Thank you.
Always good when you guys drop new music. I remember you dropped the one right during the pandemic. And yeah. And I was
Yeah.
like, thank God, it's been forever since these guys have put out a new song. And it fit. And it was at the right time. And it was awesome. So hopefully
Thanks, man.
that whole mentality repeats itself this go round.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it.
545 Temple Stage. Pretty excited. And thanks for making sure this wet stuff walked away, because I think you brought the good
Usually
weather.
we're the
What we
ones
do.
who bring the rain, so I'm excited.
Oh, and by the way, when's the new album dropping?
September.
September.
Yeah.
Okay. Fall, brand new Seether. It's live from Rock on the Range Day 2 with your rock station and Seether. 99.7 The Blitz.